This is KUGAN CASSIUS for iFall TV in association with MTK Global. We're at the Matchroom HQ. You had a party here, didn't you, the other night?
We had a bonfire. The marquee's still out there, look. Yeah, bonfire party.
Who was on top of the bonfire?
No, it was just a load of old files and folders. And I have to apologise to viewers firstly, because I know you've got a new lens, is that right? And this jumper, just to tell you the quick story about this jumper. After the Danny Jacobs fight, I went to Miami for 3 days with my missus and kids. I went to a shop. I'd been in the sun, I had a little bit of colour, do you know what I mean? I was feeling quite green. And I tried this on, and I thought, you look the bollocks. And then I got home this morning and tried it on, and I thought, you look a fat tomato. So I apologise if it's glaring at you. We can start with a simple hashtag. Hashtag Don Hernione. Hashtag fat tomato. You make your decision about this jumper. It's staying on today and for the workout in Manchester tonight. But I apologise to people if it is grotesque. Firstly,
it's very nice of you to apologise for your attire.
Well, I think really that I have a reputation to upkeep with sartorial elegance, and this is, I'm not sure, I might be wrong. People might be looking at this saying, Hearn, you are cool motherfucker. But I think the general consensus will be, Hearn, what are you wearing, you big old fat tomato? So
you're getting out of the way.
I'm getting out of the way. What I'm doing is I know the abuse is coming later, so I'm just sort of prompting it and trying to just soften it, you know?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's start with this week. A little fight going on.
Yeah.
Tiny little fight going on. Let's talk about the card first of all. You satisfied with the card?
Yeah, I am. I mean, again, it's the classic scenario of when you do a huge main event, you have a slightly weaker card than you would do if you had a smaller main event. I mean, put in the example of White Parker, for example. Yeah, I mean, we had so much stick going into that fight about the undercard, about the main event. Turned out to be one of the best nights of boxing I think I've ever seen, you've ever seen, hopefully you've ever seen. And this card, slightly weaker than that. Brilliant chief support with Crawley Jordan. And I don't think a lot of people know about Jordan. This is a 50-50 fight. This is to become the mandatory for the WBA. It could go either way. It's going to be an absolute war. I think Cardle Burns is interesting. I really like Hyde against Riakporhe. I mean, they're the kind of fights that we should be making of two young prospects. I think the cruiserweight division's buzzing at the moment. The big white Pappy De La Rhino, pay-per-view Pappy, back. Josh Kelly on the card as well. Yeah, I think it's a good night. And Burns Cardle, I think, is interesting.
Bit of a strange fight, isn't it?
It's a really strange fight, and I'll just tell you what happened. Ricky Burns was supposed to fight in America. That card was originally supposed to be in Las Vegas. There wasn't really a fight out there that not made sense, but even a big fight. Then we moved it to Kansas. I think Ricky would quite like the idea of fighting in Vegas. Kansas was not so appealing. And I just said to him, when Caldina pulled out, do you want to jump on that card? That wasn't to fight Cardle. That was just to strengthen the card, to put Burns on there in a title fight. And then obviously we spoke to Scotty. I was planning just to reschedule the Caldina fight. And Scotty said, look, I've been training hard, I'm up for fighting. And then Paul in the office just said, why don't we just put Burns in with Cardle? I was like, it's pretty fucking horny in a sick kind of way. And I said, I'm not sure they'd be up for it, either of them. So he phoned Cardle, we went fucking righto. Spoke to Burns, he went, I'll have that, no problems, done. It was like literally a minute. And it's interesting because it's going to be a shootout because Cardle's has absolutely nothing to lose. Like, he lost to Ritson, he's coming back now, he's fighting Caldina for the Commonwealth. Burns really has to win to keep his career alive. And it's not going to be easy. Because Cardle's trained very hard for this fight, so that's going to be a tough fight for both. So that'd be interesting, but obviously Usyk-Bellew I'm looking forward to, but I'm really looking forward to Crawley Jordan because it's going to be a war. And again, same thing, Crawler must win on Saturday to keep those, keep bubbling at the top level.
I really like the Riakporhe and Sam Hyde
Yeah,
fight.
really good fight.
Really
I
good
mean,
fight.
Maybe to some people who don't know a lot about that fight, two young, undefeated cruiserweight prospects. Hyde has more experience than Riakporhe. Riakporhe is with Dillian Whyte. Dillian just said, I want to throw him in. I want to test him. So he goes up to Hyde's backyard. It's a really risky fight that probably both guys shouldn't be taking at this point in their career, but the money was right, the occasion was right, the platform was right, and ultimately they both think they can win the fight. And the winner will go on and be in those realms of, Chamberlain, Akoli, Askin, and the loser will come back and he'll fight. Still on a thriving cruiserweight scene. Really good. I like cruiserweights at the moment. I'm really into it. I think they're really exciting. We saw Chamberlain against Watkins the other week at the Copper Box. It was a great fight. And I think the domestic division is really, really good. And I think they should be fighting each other.
Dave Allen. Obviously on the card this week, and he's also going to be on the Kell Brook card, which will come on
to on the Dillian Whyte card as well.
Well, he could fight 3 times.
I mean,
any of them going to be noteworthy fights?
I mean, at the moment, unless the money's right, but more than that, I'm just looking for Dave just to improve and to learn. So Saturday, I'm saying it's a total gimme. I think it's a tougher fight than the last
8-1.
Yeah, I mean, I watched him. The one fight where he got chinned, if you watch it on YouTube, he's a big old lump, this bloke, and he was swinging away, knocking 7 bells out of this geezer, and just walked onto one and got sparked. So, listen, he's not Muhammad Ali, but I think it'll be exciting. I think Dave Allen will knock him spark out, and I think the place will go nuts, and I think he'll move on. But Dave now is setting a reputation where people want to tune in to watch. He is still learning. We can't have too many fights like this, but this is fine. One more, and then we'll step it up on the Kell Brook card. But ultimately, Dave is in a position now. He doesn't have to gamble. He used to gamble for 15, 20 grand. He doesn't have to do that anymore. If he's going to gamble, he's going to gamble for big money now. And that's what we've wanted to get him to that position. Bought a nice house. He's financially secure for now. And now it's about building for the future. Not just financially, but as a fighter. To make sure that he's learning. And he's not just going to go in and for small money against a top 5 heavyweight and get carted about everywhere. We want him to go in and win a British title, try and win a European title, and then who knows what could happen. But I do believe he's getting better. I believe he's letting his hands go more, and you'll see that on Saturday night. I think he'll look really good, and I think he'll chin Ariel in a couple of rounds, and I think again, place will go nuts, and hopefully people will start recognising him as a contender for the big domestic titles, maybe European titles. But they will also only do that when the opposition steps up. So this is a chance for him to go in, have some fun. You've got to be careful. This guy can punch, and he's not going to be scared to let his hands go. But go in there, look good again. And the last guy was 10-1, 11-1. This guy's 8-1. Just keep learning, keep building. And I think he's going to be. I believe I'd love to see Dave win a British title. I really would.
What's the situation with that British title? Is it going to become vacant?
I doubt it, because I think Huey will probably come back and fight for it. I don't know. But
this is Dave Allen's 8th pay-per-view.
Is that
show?
right?
7th or 8th, I think.
Yeah.
Mental.
It's just become like Dave Allen. The demand, we see all the digital numbers, right? So, but you've even got to see the other sites that are talking about Dave Allen. I mean, I saw it yesterday, Iron Brew, Bet365, Babe Station. They're all tweeting about Dave Allen and the interaction, the social interaction. We're not idiots here. I mean, we don't just not follow the world and the trends and the numbers. We know each individual fighter, who's creating the numbers, who's creating the traffic. Both bums on seats, both linear, both digital, and he's one of those top guys right now. You know it.
Well, yeah, his IFL's top ever clip.
Well, there you go.
11 million for one clip.
So, and I'm not doing this now because I feel sorry for Dave Allen. I'm doing this now because he's an asset to our show, and that's good news for Dave Allen because he has a value. He's getting paid well for these particular kind of fights, but he has the potential to earn a lot of money once he steps up the opposition and starts risking win or lose it, and that comes with its own dangers. But I just want to make sure that when he gets there, he's ready this time. And the thing is with Dave, is he's up and down. And you know, he might phone me like last week. He phoned me and said, "I think I won't fight in Manchester. You know, I haven't really got an opponent yet, and I'm not really feeling great." And I'm like, I have to say, just Dave, shut up, stop being an old woman, and just get ready. Your opponent's coming, okay. But that's how you got to be with Dave. But the proof of the pudding will come when he's in a 10, 12 hard week camp for a real fight, and then we're going to really see. But now that real fight is going to be a Saturday night headliner on pay-per-view. Am I joking? On Saturday night fight night. He's earned that right. If he fights for the British heavyweight title, I believe that's a headline fight for Dave Allen in an arena. Obviously, he's got to be fighting Dubois, Fury, you know, these kind of people. So he's earned that, you know. And if people like Dubois want to fight Dave Allen, then Mr. Warren must get his checkbook out and make sure that Dave, because at the moment, Dave Allen's profile is a million miles bigger than Daniel Dubois. I'm not saying he's as good a heavyweight, but let me tell you, who do you think's got a bigger profile right now? Dave Allen or Daniel Dubois? Not even close. No one knows who Daniel Dubois is. So if they want to make fights like that, they better pay up for Dave Allen, because we haven't done all this work. And he hasn't done all this work. I mean, I'm just giving him the platform. He's the one out there, and I don't even think he knows he's doing it.
Probably doesn't. To be fair.
I mean, look, he's not. Dave's actually a lot smarter than people think. He knows he's playing a little bit of a game, but ultimately he's just being himself. But when that arena in Newcastle with 8,000 people started singing "There's only one Dave Allen," this bloke's from Sheffield. They'll do it on Saturday in Manchester. And this time there'll be 19,000. This is a fucking movement.
Right, Usyk-Bellew. Just clarify the WBC situation with the belt. Story from Sky yesterday, as in Tony's status.
Emeritus champion.
Yes.
Basically means champion in recess. Usyk is the real champion. I mean... Like, basically what happened was, when Tony fought Hay, they put him as emeritus champion, which basically allows the belt to be freed up. So you could say Tony is the real WBC unbeaten champion and Usyk is the interim. But with everybody Usyk's beaten. I mean, this is the best and biggest fight I've ever promoted. I was thinking that the other day. It don't get any bigger than this for me, you know, and that's even bigger than Joshua Klitschko. Honestly, for me,
in terms of what's on the line,
just in terms of what's on the line, in terms of how everything's happened, in terms of the Tony Bellew story, in terms of Usyk being in his absolute prime, in terms of the undisputed world championship, this is the biggest fight I've ever promoted, and I can't believe it's happening. I can't believe it's happening, because the Tony Bellew story is the most. If people know the story, but if people really knew and saw from the inside, and I wish we did a film on him. He was the guy who basically stood up and went, "No, I'm not fucking having it." He was the first guy that done it. He was the trendsetter, and he stood by his morals and he stood by his principles, and it was a financial risk, it was a risk to his career, but he is a man of principle. And you know, I remember when he fought for the European title against Danny McIntosh at the Echo Arena. Me and Dave Coldwell co-promoted that show, right? We sold about 1,000 tickets in the Echo Arena. We done about 90 grand on the show, which now you just roll with and, you know, on to the next one. At the time, me and Dave Coldwell went off on that show. That nearly financially crippled Dave Coldwell, that show. And I weren't over the moon, to be honest with you, because at the time, we were touching the water of boxing, and all of a sudden we'd lost 45, 50 grand on shows. But Dave was fucking, and Dave stood up, he paid his money, right? And we did that show, and he knocked Danny McIntosh out, he became European champion. We went on, He boxed Adonis Stevenson. We flew out to fucking middle of nowhere. It was about minus 20 degrees. Tony Bellew was making £175, which to this day is one of life's great mysteries, and did it time and time again. Went out there, actually could have beaten him that night if we'd have boxed with a bit more confidence, but was still a shell of a man. Got beat for decent money, come back, moved up to cruiserweight, boxed like, Tony was boxing for 30, 40, 50 grand. Even when he boxed Masternak, this was at a time, and he won't mind me going into these numbers, and this is a very honest interview because I shouldn't really be talking about, but at the time, 50, 60, 70, 80 grand was a lot of money in boxing, Like he got, I think, 80 or 90 grand to fight Masternak for the European title on the Joshua White pay-per-view undercard, right? That fight was an absolute war. That fight was probably the make or break of Tony Bellew for that kind of money. He went and boxed Makabu at Goodison Park. I said to him, he took the risk of that show with us. He made more than the Masternak fight, but not bundles and bundles more. Then he came out and fought BJ Flores. Then the two, then Tony somehow got the David Haye fight. That secured him for life. The second one made his kids secure for life. But this is not about money. Trust me when I say, this is about legacy. This is about a defining moment. This is about wanting to know how good you are. And that's great sport. He texted me on Saturday and he said to me, this time next week, we'll find out how good I really am. And I thought, fucking, I had a lump in my throat. I've got a lump in my throat talking about it now. And I just thought, fuck me, this is sport. He won't ask me how much money he's making. He won't ask me about the pay-per-view buys. He just says, those belts are coming home with me. I texted him last night, the WBA belt. He said, that's coming home with me. He said, on November the 15th, I changed my number and you'll never hear from me again. I said, well, that's not very nice. He went, no, I don't mean in that respect. He said, in boxing terms, you'll never hear from me again. He said, I'm going to knock out Usyk on Saturday night. I'm going to do my thing with the belts and I'll make sure everyone gets their time. Then I'm gone. And I'll tell you what, I spoke to him yesterday morning for half an hour. I've never known so much confidence in a man since Audley Harrison. but just Tony is a student of the sport. He knows what he's got to do, and the way he's telling me he's going to do this, I don't know. I mean, and he said to me on the phone, don't get me wrong, if this guy is what everyone says he is, this is going to be an absolute brutal war. And I went to him, I think it's best you prepare for that. And he went, I have. He said, I've never been fitter, I've never been stronger, I've never been mentally more prepared. Mate, this is just the fight between such an elite fighter, such a genius in Alexander Usyk, against this geezer who has just got the will to win, the knack to win, but he's so technically underrated and he's punching so hard and has so much belief in himself. I cannot wait. This is the, like I said, the best fight I've ever promoted. And this is everything. This is the undisputed Cruiserweight World Championship. These are the fights that, when you look back over history and you look at those great, Holyfield fights and stuff like that, this is up there. And people may say, oh, fucking Hearns, what's Hearns? I'm telling you, this fight is up there. Bellew is so underrated and Usyk is an absolute genius. But I'm telling you now, Usyk is going to meet a man possessed. And he may be too good. But I'm telling you, Bellew is an absolute man possessed. And if you're buying this fight or if you're in the arena, I promise you, he will give every ounce of his soul, every drop of his blood, everything to win on Saturday night. He is mentally possessed for this fight.
Okay.
That's how I feel about this fight. I can't wait. I mean, can you?
I just hope when he wins, there's not a moment for you.
Do you believe he'll win?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
You think he'll knock him out?
I think he has to.
Yeah, I agree.
I think if it goes the distance, I think you have to favour
He said to me
Usyk.
yesterday,
I have a
listen,
feeling
it
for
don't
him.
matter. He said, this geezer's phenomenal. He went, after I've done him, he went, you'll move him up to a heavyweight and he'll win a world title up there. But I just, it doesn't, sport, when you get to the highest end of sport, that's the chalice, isn't it? It's the promised land. That's what this is. It doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any better. I want, and how, everything I've just told you, right? I think the best example I can give to you about Wilder Joshua, right? I feel the same way. Like, this is everything I want. Forget the money. This is life. These nights. These undisputed. I'm a hardcore boxing fan. Right? This is everything. So, if you think I don't want the same for Wilder Joshua or, to give Anthony the chance to be in that moment, to be the greatest, you are mental. You are mental, because I live and breathe for Saturday night. I fucking love it. It is everything. Sport for me is everything. Boxing is everything. Money's important, but it's really not. It's really not. That's just numbers. That's just, can we hit these numbers? It's not, how much money can we make? It's about the business, territories we go in, shows we do, how much but that's just a game. This is sport. This is sport. And sport is the greatest thing in the world.
Okay. Edward.
Yes.
Did you reach a deal with Manny Pacquiao?
No.
What were you doing with Manny Pacquiao?
Do you know what? Nothing really. He's fighting Broner. I met with her team, very nice people, and that was just, we're in London, would you like to have a meet up? So weren't really talking business.
You didn't talk to Zone with him or anything?
No, he's fighting Broner, and then he's going to fight Mayweather. That's what they're being told. So, good luck to him. I mean, the money he's getting to fight Broner, they better do a lot of buys. Otherwise, someone's getting skinned. But, a very nice man.
You met him before, hadn't you?
Yeah, but not in quite as much detail.
Did he know who you were?
I hope so. Didn't fill me with a lot of confidence. He didn't go, Eddie, you alright, son? He sort of went, And I went, I'm back here. And he went, And then we had a little photo, we had a little chat, and that was it really. I was more meeting the operational guys, it's just a social really. Just an honour to meet him. He's a legend, isn't he?
What do you make of Mayweather's next bout in Japan?
Well, apparently he's getting 100 million or $88 million or something like that, so.
Gimmick?
Like
a novelty fight?
Obviously.
But,
I don't know. How can you be critical, really? I mean, the guy's come from nothing. He's self-made. He's made an absolute fortune. He's achieved more in boxing than probably anyone's ever achieved. He may be better than anyone's ever been. It's just, I don't know. I think there are certain people and there are certain people, Some people, I don't want to say integrity, because maybe I'll do the same thing. But I know a lot of fighters that if they'd achieved what he'd achieved would never do this. But maybe they wouldn't spend the money he spends. Maybe they wouldn't have the gambling debts he has. So there may be another side to this story.
This is not an official fight, is it? It's not one that will go on his record.
Go down his record. So again, like, it's hard to knock him, isn't it? What right have we got to tell fucking Floyd Mayweather what to do? Oh, Floyd, you're tarnishing the sport. Fuck, he'll be like, well, yeah, nice one, mate. See you later. So it's his decision, isn't it? For me, it's how you want to carry yourself. I mean, I look at people like Andre Ward, who I think is one of the classiest guys the sport's ever produced. I wish he would have boxed a bit longer, actually, but you know, even like Froch. You know, Froch could have gone on for another 3 or 4 or 5 fights. But he said to himself, this is the moment for me. You know, I feel like this is the moment physically, mentally and emotionally to bow out and thank you to the sport of boxing. I've given you my all and you've given me a great life and thank you. With Floyd, it's like never ending. It's like, wow. You know, it's not, he doesn't care about tarnishing the sport of boxing. And yeah, the argument, why should he? Maybe, I don't know. It's each, everyone's got their own mindset, haven't they? But I know a lot of fighters that wouldn't do it because they'd be afraid to tarnish their legacy. I mean, look at Roy Jones Jr. Lovely man. What's he doing? One of the greatest fighters of all time. But there's often a lot behind these things. Financially, mainly. I don't believe Floyd has the money he says he has because I don't think he'd be doing this. But when you've come from where he's come from, sometimes it's hard to walk past that kind of money.
Would you promote a fight like that if you had the opportunity? With the amount of money involved?
Probably.
At least you're honest.
Yeah, probably. Because it's not just about making the money. It's the chance to work with Floyd Mayweather. And that's why I would never sit here and say, oh, it's disgusting, oh, it's terrible for the sport, you can't touch that. Because, again, if the guy phoned me up today and said, would you like to come to Japan and promote this fight? I'd probably do it. But it'd be more to be involved in an event, in that event, because it's a huge event. And it's not really, but I don't know, like you say, it's not on the record and all that, I don't know. It's a bit like, I'd quite like to do McGregor against Malignaggi, to be honest, because I actually think that's a good fight. The McGregor Mayweather fight was a bit of a farce because he'd never boxed before, and he was fighting one of the best ever. But actually, because Paulie is towards the end, or he's done, like that's actually it's a much better fight. So we'll see.
Michael Zarafa. Did he used to be a stripper?
I don't know. I saw him his tweet.
Is that actually him? The picture that
I think that's just. I don't know whether he used to do that, but that is a picture of him. Yeah.
Can you understand why people were a little bit underwhelmed by this opponent?
Yeah, for sure. I think just go and watch him. Watch the Quillen fight. He's tough.
But along his record, that seems to be his only kind of notable name on his record.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, this is not... What do you want me to tell you? That this is a 50-50 fight? No, of course not. This is about Kell Brook getting out. I mean, I have to say, there isn't a huge difference between Sammy Vargas...
Who's sparring Brook as well.
Yeah, and Michael Zarafa. We'll just say that, put that out there now. And actually, Hearn against Vargas was a brilliant fight, and he got dropped badly in the second round. But this is what it is. Kell Brook's had one fight in a year and a half since Errol Spence, and this is the fight that he needs to gear himself up for the Amir Khan fight. It's also about being in camp, being fight fit, and using this fight to bring his weight down. So yeah, like it's not a 50-50 fight. It ain't the greatest fight of all time. That's why the undercard's going to be very, very strong. I mean, John O'Carroll against Frenoir is a really good fight. Final eliminator for Tevin Farmer. Josh Kelly's in a brilliant fight.
Why couldn't you have made that fight straight off? Like as a voluntary for
honest,
Tevin Farmer.
I think Jono will be better off having a fight at that level, because I don't think he's really boxed at the level of Frenoir. Does that make sense? So I don't think...
Because they were kind of having a little Twitter exchange over that.
Well, Tevin messaged me and we'll make the fight now. But I don't think that we've seen the best of Jono. And I think these are the kind of fights against Fremont, who is a European champion level. We'll find out about John. And I worry about going from, and not saying Declan Garrity's not a good fighter, because he is, but going from that level to Tevin Farmer. You found from Tennyson. Tennyson just had a really good ring over Waldy, and then jumped to Tevin Farmer level, and it was too good for him. So I think this is going to suit Jono, and I think this is the perfect fight for Jono to prepare for Tevin Farmer. Jono's going to fight Tevin Farmer. He's just got to beat Fremont, and I believe he will. Josh Kelly's in a really good fight. He's just got to get through Saturday, and we'll announce on Saturday's next fight. Really good fight on that card.
He's out in action this week as well.
Yeah. Looking to put Fowler in a good fight as well, and Dave Allen as well. It's going to be a really good card. But I can't. I'm not going to tell you Michael Zarafa is Errol Spence or Porter or he's just a good. He's number 8 with the WBA. He will give absolutely everything. He's not a guy who you're bringing over who'll just fold. But I think it'll be a good fight, because I think Brook will be under pressure, because I think the Khan fight will be looming. And be good.
Gary Spike O'Sullivan is on the bill.
Well, Golden Boy phoned me up and said, "Can we put Spike O'Sullivan on that card?" And I went, "Yeah, of course you can. I like Spike." And they went, "Okay." And then I spoke to him on Friday. I said, "Look, we're announcing on Monday. Is he definitely on?" "Yes, definitely on." And then we announced it, and he came out and said, "No, I'm boxing on the day before in Ireland." So I don't know what's going on at the moment. So I think they've got a bit confused, Golden Boy and Spike. So we're just sorting it all out at the moment. Spike may not be on that card.
Okay. What do you know about Kell Brook's training situation? Obviously, you put a message out.
Yeah, not a great deal. I think that Dom is very, very... Dom has sort of become... Dom's gone from, not a one-man band with Kell, but Kell and Barry, to Jason Quigley, Billy Joe, Jake Ball, Willie Hutchinson, and I think he was preparing for the Billy Joe fight. He was out in Canada, and Kell just needed to get cracking. He needed to get going, because the worst thing Kell Brook can do is sit in Sheffield and just wait. So he got out there, and he's been training. I don't even know the guy he's been training with, to be honest with you, but he's happy. He's firing on all cylinders. He's motivated, and that's the best place for Kell Brook. Get him out of Sheffield. Get him over there. When Kell's in camp, 110% all the time. It's when he's not in camp and when he's sitting at home bored that he starts eating too much or putting on weight or being ill-disciplined. And he's in a good place right now. He's in a good place, and you will see a great performance from him on December 8th. And I believe you'll see the Khan fight in March as well.
A word on Ryan Burnett's defeat last weekend.
For him.
Yeah.
I wish we could have seen that fight unfold, and maybe we do in the future. These things happen, and he'll be back. I think I'm waiting on news actually on the injury. I think because they went to the hospital on Saturday, which was a bit of a waste of time, by all accounts, and just finding out whether it's his back, hip, both, pelvis. But it's not a good injury, and he's had a little bit of back problem years ago, and hopefully it's not too bad.
Just a quick question about Canelo. Do you know the Golden Boy have got 11 fights with the Zone? Mm-hmm. They're not accessible to here in the UK for us, are they?
No.
Strictly for
Matchroom shows. All Matchroom shows in America are shown live on Sky. But obviously, Canelo Fielding's on Sky. But
that counts as one of Golden Boy's shows?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me about Matchroom Italy.
Yes. Another chapter in the Matchroom.
One of the two countries you teased us.
Yeah, we officially announced today that the launch of Matchroom Boxing Italy. 8 shows a year with the Zone in Italy. First one November 30th, which you didn't know. I don't know if you knew that. Florence, you got to come to this great card. 3 Italians against 3 Brits.
Go on.
Turchi, the cruiserweight, very, very good fighter, against Tony Conquest. Andrea Scarpa against Joe Hughes for the European title. and Devis Boshiero against Martin Ward for the WBC International Super Featherweight title, plus big undercard. So for Italy, they've never seen shows like that. I mean, 3 major title fights, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a big challenge. We're going to be working with Chris Kirchi for an OPI in Italy. Takes us up to nearly 50 shows a year now. And Friday nights, live on DAZN. First one will be on Sky on November 30th, and we'll see what Sky think, and hopefully all of them will be on Sky as well. So more output, more boxing on Sky, and more boxing on DAZN. So just another big moment for us, obviously going from sort of Romford Gym UK promoter, Essex promoter, to obviously the huge Sky deal, the 16 shows a year in the US with DAZN, now 8 shows in Italy, and lots more to be announced over the coming months.
I'll be at Fury Wilder that week.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh well.
But I will watch it from over there because I'll get the DAZN app.
DAZN.
Absolutely. Undercard for Chisora Whyte.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
There's going to be a world title fight, which we've just agreed in writing, and we're just contracting now. Good fight. You've seen this world champion in the UK before, in Britain before, fighting a Brit. You've got. We've also agreed a deal with Ryan Walsh to fight Reece Bellotti for the British featherweight title, which will either go on that show or a next gen show the week before, but probably December 22nd. Looking to reschedule Ball against Richards. Could see Takam on that card as well in a heavyweight fight. Could see Dave Allen on that card as well.
David Price, could he be?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. I'm sort of hoping that David Price can have a bit of a run, to be honest with you.
There's still big fights there for him.
Yeah. Price Allen, Price Takam.
As it currently stands, who's at top of your list for April 13th? Right now.
Wilder.
Still?
Yeah.
Okay.
If we can't get Deontay Wilder to agree to fight Joshua, I hope that I will have a deal in place with certainly Dillian Whyte. If he wins on December 22nd, he gets a fight on April 13th. But that's probably our cut-off really for Wilder. So
what if Chisora wins?
Then maybe we do a Chisora fight, I don't know.
Have you spoke to Hay and Chisora about that?
That's why they're taking this fight.
Yeah.
They want to knock Dillian Whyte out and fight Anthony Joshua. I've got to say, Chisora's not in the mindset right now for AJ. AJ loves Chisora. He was like his hero growing up, coming out of Finchley. But obviously the plan for both guys is to win that fight and fight AJ. But in AJ's mind, it's Deontay Wilder or Dillian Whyte. That's what he's thinking.
And when do you want to announce that opponent for? When? By the end of this year?
Probably at the break of the year. Break of 2019.
Eddie, I know you've got to go. Quickly run me through exactly what your shows between now and...
Okay. November the 10th. Usyk against Bellew, Crawley Jordan, Josh Kelly, Burns Cardle, Dave Allen, Hyde React Pore. Have I missed one? Probably. Next week, we're in Kansas. You coming?
Yeah, I think so.
Big Baby Miller against Dinu.
What's the situation with that belt?
You will hear very soon. Big Baby Miller against Dinu. Clarissa Shields against Hannah Rankin. Brandon Rios against Alvarez, Canelo's brother, Ramon Alvarez. Luis Arias against Rosado. Great fight. Nico Hernandez as well. Then...
And Sims.
And Sims Jr.
Yeah.
You get a bit of that. You love a bit of Sims Jr. And Nikita Abavi. Then we go to Monaco on the 24th for Ustinov, WBA Cruiserweight World Title against American Mike Wilson. Frank Buglioni against Fenlong Meng for the IBF Intercontinental title. Cal Yafai against Israel Gonzalez defending his world title. Ustinov against Zhang, the heavyweights as well. Then we got a week off, December the 1st. Then December the 8th, we got Kell Brook against Zarafa. We got Josh Kelly in a brilliant fight. We've got John O'Carroll against Fremoir. We've got Dave Allen. We've got Anthony Fowler on that card. Then we've got December the 15th, Rocky from Stocking taking on Canelo. We'll have at least 2 fights on that undercard.
What's happened with Joe Smith? And
I'm still talking. We may wait on that fight till January.
Right.
So we're just waiting on Beterbiev. Tevin Farmer could fight on that card. Katie Taylor could fight on that card. That's December 15th. Then December 22nd. Got Whyte-Chisora, world title fights, etc., on the card there. And we'll also do a next gen the week of December 10. And then November 30, we got Italy. And then we'll do our first one in Germany in February.
Germany's the other one.
There's 2 other countries that we're going to be announcing big deals in. So I don't know how we're going to do it.
And where do you stop with this?
I don't know.
Or you just don't stop?
I don't know. I just want to make this whole thing as big as possible. That's my drive every day, to get up and see where we can take this business.
You've signed Serrano as well. Amanda Serrano.
Yeah, she's going to fight Katie Taylor.
At some point.
Yeah,
Is she going to fight on any of your cards?
She's going to box in January in DAZN.
Where's your show in January in DAZN?
Just working it out now. Be an announcement soon.
Is it going to be some other remote place in
Kansas
America?
Kansas is great. We've nearly sold out in Kansas.
Oh, really?
It's going to be absolutely mental. So, Manchester, here we come.
Right, we'll catch up with you tomorrow.
Cheers.